This one's for all the college students out there. 5 questions your professor hates and 5 better ways to ask. Today on Psy vs. Psy. Stay tuned. Hi everybody, as the new year starts winding up, I thought now is a good time to revisit some college do's and don'ts. In college, one of the most important things you can do is form good relationships with your professors. They aren't just helpful in the classroom, but can also hold the key to other opportunities, internships and scholarships, and eventually you're going to need letters of reference for jobs or graduate programs, and you want them to advocate for you. However, a lot of students tend to ask questions that undermine their efforts to make a good impression. Now, I don't think they do this on purpose. I think that they just aren't aware that they're making a faux pas. But that's why I'm here to help. Here are some really common questions that drive professors absolutely crazy. And then I'm going to give you some tips on other ways to ask for the same information without making any missteps. So let's get right into it. Question number 1. Will this be on the test? Other versions include, can we get a study guide? Your professor may keep her poker face on the outside, but on the inside, an atomic bomb is going off when they get this question. Story time. Last month, I went to the dentist for a routine checkup. And now I've got my wisdom teeth, and the dentist looked at them and said, I'm a little worried about some of these wisdom teeth back here. You need to make sure you take extra good care of them because I don't want to have to fill a cavity way back there, and you don't want to have them out. Okay, I'll brush extra good. Can you tell me which one you're most concerned about so that I can make sure to give that one extra attention?
All of them. Which tooth should I brush? Gee.
At that moment, I realized what a silly question it actually was. In the same way you don't ask your dentist which tooth to brush, you don't ask your professor which concepts to study. If you covered them in your class, they're important. Instead, you could ask, what would a question about this topic look like on the test? That way, it shifts from whether or not you need to know it at all, but instead shows that you want to make sure you and the instructor are just on the same page about this topic. You avoid giving the impression that you're just too lazy to study everything, but instead focus on how to prepare for test questions that might come your way. All right, question 2. I missed class yesterday. Did we do anything important? No, we did nothing important. I just decided to waste everybody's time. I get this one all the time. Other variations include the maybe more mild, I can't be in class this afternoon. What are we doing today? The answer is always, yes, what we're doing is important. We're doing what the syllabus says we're doing. And if you need to get notes, find a classmate and see if they'll help you out. Okay, so what you really want to know in this case is, first of all, to let the professor know about your absence and see if there's any way to make up any work that was missed. This is much better if you do it beforehand rather than after the fact, but if you have no other option, communication after you miss is still better than just ghosting for that class. My advice, first try to figure out what was done on your own and take care of it. Whether that be checking the syllabus or contacting a fellow student for notes. Then, if needed, inform your prof about why you missed and that you got notes from Gabby, but you know you missed an important worksheet in class, and ask if you can still get a copy of that on Friday. Anytime you can let the professor know that you took some initiative to solve this problem on your own is good. Okay, question 3. Can I get extra credit? Now, if you're asking for this, you're probably in a desperate place, so I feel for you. Variations of this include, can I retake the test? Or can we drop the lowest score? Now, I know you're worried about your grade, but here's the thing. Your professors have set up the grading system in the syllabus, and it's hard to deviate from that. Your profs have a reason for the grading systems that they have. Anything that you ask for has to be applied fairly so that everyone has an opportunity to do it, and sometimes that just isn't feasible. If your professor hasn't said anything at all about extra credit, well, that's pretty much a no. No, there's no extra credit. I mean, you could ask, but if it were me, I wouldn't want the hit to my reputation. If you're in a desperate spot and need a few extra points, it's likely that you need to meet with your professor about it anyway. Now, a better thing to ask is something like, I really struggled with this concept, and I know I can understand it better. How can I make sure I don't have similar problems in the future? Or, are there extra resources that you can recommend so that I can make sure my grade truly reflects my understanding of the course? Can you go over this assignment with me so I can make sure I have this down 100%? This shifts the emphasis from points and grades, that's important to you, to what's important to the professor, which is understanding the material. If you show that you're committed to that, they might be able to find a way to help cut you a break. Question 4. When is this due? Or any other question that's already been answered in the syllabus or in other obvious places. This one's maybe a little controversial because sometimes you might really need to know this or need to ask this. However, I'm going to suggest that if they've assigned something, they probably already said when it was due. So before you ask, make sure you've checked the syllabus, the assignment, any recent emails or announcements or any place just to make sure that you didn't just overlook it. You want to avoid the impression that you're just too lazy to look it up yourself or that you aren't paying attention. A better way to ask is to first check all the places you think it could be, and if you still can't find it, say, "Hi, Professor, I wanted to ask about assignment 2. I checked the syllabus and on the assignment in the blackboard, and I couldn't find a due date. Is it due at the end of the week as usual, and is there a place I can check for due dates in the future?" This lets them know that you did look for it and that you don't want to bother them with this kind of thing in the future, if you know where to find it. Where can I find the due dates is better than when is it due. Question 5. The computer gave me an error. How do I fix it? Now, this is another one that comes up a lot, and it may be a legitimate question. The trouble comes in if you don't provide any details that actually will help the professor help you. What did you try? Did you try using a different web browser? Did you get a screenshot of the error? What did the error say? Just saying there was a problem is a waste of an email, and the professor's going to be annoyed because now they have to take time to email you back asking for more specifics. One thing that really helps is to determine whether this is really something that your professor can fix or whether it's something that needs to go to IT. For example, if it's a database that your professor sent you for your stats class, well, that might be something they can help with if it's a problem with something they sent you. But if it's specific to your computer or a computer the campus gave you, then IT is probably your best bet. If it's a problem with, say, an online test book or something provided by a textbook company, then their help desk is probably where you need to go. In any case, if you start out providing as much information as you can with screenshots and describing your attempts to fix it on your own, you'll save time and effort for both of you, and you'll earn at least 5 cool points. The common themes here on all of these questions are to make sure you don't look lazy, that you're willing to try to solve the problem on your own. You're more concerned about learning the material than some imaginary points. This shows them that you are a dedicated student and really value the professor's time. If you want to know more about how to be a good student or more about career paths, finding jobs, or general topics in psychology, consider subscribing. We got more videos on the way, and so until next time, keep thinking. Done.